So, Mr. Suresh, I have practically seen certain example of my close ones or certain clients across overall. Usually at certain point of time you're working with certain organization. Later point of time you think that you can start something of your own. Definitely you might have also seen certain situations.
Absolutely. Normal.
Normal. So at that point of time you have a thought of doing something, getting it done, doing well financially also. When you approach that, you are going through that and you're doing that. It is also a scenario where things are not working out for you. I have seen this when things are not working out, the equations within the family is spoiled. So the family is trying to convince the other person that he should get back to the work and start again with the same journey, and the person who started up the whole thing is still having a vision that things can be achievable. Do you think do you have a role there to play? Because the reason I'm asking you is I was going through your book, If God Was a Financial Planner, overall, and I saw a chapter which is answering that. So I want you to please point out what can be done and what can an advisor do here.
See, what you have talked about is something that happens in many cases. See, when there is a person who wants to strike out on their own, they have a particular idea which they want to bring to the world. Which they want to execute and they want to see that to fruition. Sometimes the venture goes on well. So you know that any startup, anything new that you are doing, the chances of failure are much more than the chances of success. That is the harsh reality, and we have to accept that. What the person who is starting up has to understand is that there is a chance of failure. So sometimes the entrepreneur is so caught up in their vision and caught up in their own dream world that they tend to think that it will all work finally. So at certain point in time, you need to fold up your cards like they do it in rummy or any other game. You should know when to fold up and when to move on. So that is a problem with some of the people, I would say many of the entrepreneurs, and they keep putting more and more money, and they are not getting money. In fact, they are taking loans and they are putting in more money, and that causes obviously problems in the family, because when you are an involved party, you are the person who is an entrepreneur, and you have a vision and you want to see that vision successful, then you will do your everything, and beyond the point also where where it is not going to be possible, also you will continue to plod on. Whereas other people, which will include your family, will know that okay, you have crossed the point of no return and you need to get back, and they will probably provide that counsel. A lot of times what happens is the family is seen as somebody who is not understanding the vision, and family is seen as somebody who is really trying to pull you down in some way, and there are frictions which happen because of that. And lot of times, to start with, the entrepreneur might have thought, okay, I'll put in say 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. And later on they get sucked into this whole thing that they actually put in their entire life savings and they borrow more and more, and they are stuck in loans. See, it is at that point in time the relationship actually sours in a family. So the money and relationship are, it's very intricately connected. So when you don't really take care of money, and you are not really caring about what is happening in the family. See, every family has aspirations. If you are not really aligned to that, the family wants something and you are not aligned to that, and you are saying that at a later point something will happen. People are able to see that probably it is not going to happen, and you are not able to see that, the entrepreneur. So that's a problem. So that is when the friction comes, and that is what I have written about in the book also. That is the case of Anshuman. Anshuman actually, he has not been financially very savvy to start with. So while he had come to a financial advisor, he had not acted upon all the things that a financial advisor had suggested, and he had contacted his friends and other relationship managers and various other people, and he had acted on his own. And then later on he started an enterprise and his wife was dead against that, and the enterprise obviously did not go well, and his past investments also did not go well, and he was in a real jam. So it came to the point where they were going to be separated. So at that point in this story, I mean, they are coming to a financial advisor, and we understand that it is really about money. It is not really about any true friction in the relationship except for the finance angle. So that is when I talk about the fact that, yeah, I mean, marriage counseling is not my forte. I tell them in that book. But what transpires is that when we actually untangle the financial aspect, everything actually starts falling in place. So what I wanted to illustrate by that particular example in this book is that money and relationships are very intricately connected, and the relationships can actually become turbulent when the money situation is going bad and you are not willing to acknowledge that. So that is what I have tried to illustrate in that Anshuman and Krupa story in my book. It's very important for people to understand this particular aspect.